Hi, good evening, everyone. Welcome to a cup of conversations with BlogChatter. We have with us today the vivacious Corinne, who blogs at Everyday Gyan. She started blogging as an experiment, but it soon became her passion and her business. Hi, Corinne, and welcome to a cup of conversations.
Hi, Suchita. We're here finally. And please excuse me if I'm going to be nervous or if you see any wandering dogs coming into the room. They're mine, all right?
The more the merrier.
All right. They don't bark, so it's okay.
So let us start with how did your blogging journey begin? What is Everyday Gyan, and how did it evolve from just an experiment to a business?
All right. Okay. First, let me clear up. I'm not sure whether I can still call it a business. So I'll that's the first thing that I'd like to say. Everyday Gyan started somewhere in December 2007, but not really as Everyday Gyan. I had been married for little less than a year, living in Mumbai, a new city, quite bored. And then I happened to come back to Hyderabad for a holiday, at which time my mom had a stroke, and I don't know whether it was the fact that, how you start reviewing life and seeing how it goes.
Yes.
So I decided I better start writing because that's something I always wanted to do. So I started this little blog on Blogspot called C Inspired, C for Corinne, of course, and inspired to share my inspirations. But very soon after that, my husband told me, "Why are you on Blogspot?" I mean, although he doesn't really know much about blogging, he said, "Why don't you book your own domain?" So I started to look around for a domain that made sense to me. I thought of Daily Gyan, Gyan, I mean, to play on the Indian word wisdom. Uh, and I thought I would be writing daily and sharing what I felt about life, but the domain was taken, so I chose Everyday Gyan. And playing on the word everyday, because I meant to write every day, but also to talk about that wisdom and enlightenment comes to us in the daily, everyday happenings of our life, the ordinary, the mundane things that happen to
Yes.
us, our ordinary relationships. So things that come to us. So that's how it started, and it took off from there. I don't write every day, and I tried for some time to write every day, but that just didn't happen. But the fun thing about blogging was that I discovered that, I mean, a whole world out there, connected with a whole lot of people, Richa included. Hi, Richa, if she's online, and
She is,
that's
she
another
is.
story. Okay, that's another story. Uh, Maybe the stuff of another talk show.
That sounds already interesting.
Yeah.
We should get the two of you on a chat show. Maybe
All
the conversation, I think, will never end there.
Let's see. Anyway, so so yeah, that's how, I mean, connecting with a lot of people from all over the world, and finding that you can actually have, you have people who are like-minded when you sometimes don't meet them in the same city you're living in, right? You come across somebody you can just connect with. He or she lives right across the world. Your words make sense to them, their words make sense to you. So this whole community aspect of blogging, which sometimes we tend to forget when we are writing a book or whatever, we miss out on that. But blogging brings that
Yes.
whole world into into your room, into your home, and I mean, that's how Everyday Gyan progressed. Uh, finding readers among family, then realizing your family is reading you, so you can't really write about them directly. One of the things that I sorry, did I interrupt you?
No, no, no. I was just saying, yeah, what you said about family, reading your posts, and so many
Yeah.
times I will write something, and my mother will immediately say, "Is that me?" And I want to tell her, "Yes, but no. Don't take it so personally." But yeah, so what you're saying makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, because somewhere down the line, I realized I don't really want to, just talk about vague things. Initially, I would, share a story and then try to make a connection with a quote or whatever. And then I realized, let me talk about myself because I'm talking about enlightenment that comes to me. So it should be things about that affect my life. So happy, sad, angry as well. So I one of the things I wanted to be was to be authentic as I could possibly be. And I know that I've hurt some people in what I've written, but that's my experience, all right. So I try to change. I mean, I don't use names, but I try to change gender or write it in the third person, whatever, as far as possible. But it's not always possible, and like you said, people are always guessing and wondering whether you're writing about them.
Yes.
But that's how it is.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. No,
So
what you said about even being authentic, I think when you write from your own experience, that comes across in your writing, and I think that is what your readers connect to, and that is why it's also, I think, important to take your time when you write your posts. Like you said, everyday posting is not really feasible because of this reason.
yes. Yes. And everyday posting, I mean, look at the technical aspect of it. Writing a blog post is just not as simple as just writing, all right? I think the writing is the easiest part of it. For those of us who, decided to make our blogs a little money spinning, there's a lot more that goes into blogging, you know, e- anytime. I mean, even if you're doing it twice a week, you have to do a little research and you have to do, I mean, make sure that it's readable, first of all, it connects with your readers, but also all the background things like making sure it's SEO friendly, search engine optimization for our non-blogging friends who might be watching, and making sure you have the right images that connect with what you're saying, and all of that. So there's a lot of work that goes into blogging, which sometimes we kind of forget when we say we're going to write every day. We don't realize at the start when we start. Once you get sucked into the blogging world, there's a whole lot of checking out on what plugin works better and how can I push my blog out better and which social media channel is working for me.
Works best for me. Yes.
Yeah. I would
So
say,
one,
sorry,
yeah.
sorry.
No, please continue.
Yeah. No, I would say that you have to learn to balance it all. I mean, in the sense that use all the plugins and, I mean, I believe in investing and buying plugins or whatever it takes to make my blog go out there. But at the same time, not to make it, so focused on all that and try to recover your money at the cost of, just putting out stuff just for the sake of doing it. So it has to still continue to be something you love doing. It should,
Right.
your words should first of all resonate with you. Forget about anybody else. They should make sense.
Yes.
You should be able to go back to your words and say, "Hey, I wrote this. Okay, I feel good about it."
Correct.
And then say, then have other people connect with it.
Yeah.
You were saying?
So, I was saying that, like you were just talking about how daily blogging, because of a lot of other reasons, is not really feasible. And then we have the A to Z challenge, which is basically daily blogging. So,
Yes.
what has your experience been with A to Z, and would you recommend bloggers to go for it?
All right. In the interest of honesty, I would say that I haven't been doing the A to Z for the last time I tried was in 2014. And I didn't complete it. I started a series which I think I have about 4 posts still to write, and I don't know why I haven't completed them because I was quite happy with what I wrote. But yes, as far as the A to Z is concerned, let me tell you a little bit about that from my experience. I was part of a group on Facebook, which I will recall. It was called the Indie Blogeshwaris. I'm not sure whether they're still around. But one of the rules of this, it was all Indian women who were blogging, right? Started by Vinita Ben, right? And one of the rules of this group is that we couldn't share our links, right? So we would talk about ourselves, and it was more to do with personal stuff and issues rather than our blogs. So when the A to Z challenge came around, and I said, hey guys, I'm thinking of doing the A to Z. would a few of you like to join in? So quite a few people agreed. So what I did with the thing was to start a Facebook group. We call ourselves the A to Zers, all right? And for that particular challenge, I think it was in 2012 maybe or 11, I'm not quite sure. We decided to work within the group, and we would just share our links every day. We would have a thread with the links and keep encouraging each other. So we would comment on each other's posts and things like that. And it worked out really well. And that's where we got our Right Tribe came into being. We started this group called Right Tribe post the A to Z. And
Okay.
that's how my other website, Right Tribe, started. So it really came out of the A to Z challenge. Now, if you want, if you're asking me about whether I would recommend it as a challenge, definitely, because I think the A to Z, uh, I've just put down for myself. I was thinking it's a challenge, but there are three aspects of this challenge that I'd really like to stress for anyone. And given the fact that I said I'm not doing it this year, this not to say I won't do it again. I mean, I loved the experience, the 2 years that I did it, the 3 years that I did it. It was great. The three things I would talk about that would help are consistency. You really learn how to be consistent, blogging
Yes.
every day, and learning to be disciplined about blogging, to keep your stuff
Yes.
ready, have your post scheduled on time, so that,
Right.
and then you
Yes.
comment consistently, respond to the comments you get. So consistency is a big part of what you learn from the A to Z. The second one, I would say creativity, and that I've seen
Yes.
more and more coming through the A to Z. When the A to Z was, I mean, a few years ago, people were not so creative. You just wrote, those posts for every letter of the alphabet, whatever occurred to you. But now with the idea of having themes and people looking at
Yes.
turning their posts into books, the themes that have come and the kind of content, it's really, great,
Yeah.
really creative stuff. So creativity is another thing. So that's two
Yeah.
C's already: consistency and creativity. And the third that I've already mentioned is community.
Yes.
This is a perfect opportunity for you to build community, especially if you're a new blogger and you're just finding community. This is a chance for you to explore, and it's a worldwide challenge. So you really get to meet people from right across the world. You'll find, for example, I've connected with people who like dogs, dog lovers, or people who love reading books. So you have a variety of people who you may not get in your small groups that you've just joined if you're new to blogging. You might find similar kind of bloggers. But if you're looking to grow, expand, look at new ideas, there's nothing like the A to Z to connect with a lot of people worldwide, and that whole feeling of community. So the three C's that I'm talking about are consistency, creativity, and community. All right. So that I think would should inspire people to take up the challenge.
Yeah, like I have only done it once, and what you said about, especially about the creativity, I did not know about the whole theme system. So when I saw the other people's themes, I was so surprised, and it was so inspiring that people can write from, like there was this one blog which I really, really liked. It was, they had taken the alphabet, like a children's alphabet, how you have A for apple, B for ball,
Yeah.
and they had converted that into a mystery novel series of posts.
Yeah.
So, yes, it definitely gets your creative juices flowing.
Yes. I remember one of the first bloggers who I saw writing a book was Bhavya. I don't know whether you've come across Bhavya, but she started writing a book in that same year that we were all together. And it was, we were all waiting for the next installment of the story. Now I see a lot of bloggers writing, stories through the A to Z. And I really I admire them for that, as well as things like recipes. People write not just recipes, which in
Yeah.
itself is art with the photographs, but actually having themes around cooking through the year is amazing. And through the challenge, it's really amazing, I think.
Yeah. So let me see if we have some questions for you.
Hey,
Let's see. So, how about that? What are your thoughts on this?
hi Arjun. Do I need to type or just respond to him? Sorry,
No,
I
you can
missed your
just
question.
respond to the question. No,
Yeah.
just
Okay.
respond to the question.
Right. Okay, Arjun. I can empathize with you. Uh, you need to ask yourself why you want to blog daily. I mean, I'm all for writing daily, but is it necessary for you to put it on your blog every day? You could write daily,
That's an
but
interesting
blogging,
distinction.
yeah, because writing daily is a good discipline, but blogging takes, like I said before, a lot more work, and I think a lot of undue pressure on yourself. And then what happens, I find, is the quality of your post starts to deteriorate unless you're doing nothing
Hmm.
else but blogging or
Hmm.
writing. Well, it becomes, you're just something that you just have to put. Okay, I have to complete this and put it out there today. So the quality of posts suffers, in my opinion. So write every day, but blog, I mean, for whatever, 3 times a week or whatever makes sense to you based on your schedule and your commitment. So that's what I would say to you, Arjun. Hope that makes sense.
He has one more question.
Sure. Interesting. I'm sure that, Arjun, there are a lot of bloggers out there who write brilliantly, and and we don't know who they are or where they are. So it's important to balance your networking skills and work on it. I mean, there's plenty of ways in which you can connect with other people. Like I just yesterday, I'm in a group where somebody said, "Hey, I'm the only non-fiction blogger in this group." And it turned out that she wasn't, because there were about 15 of us after her who wrote, "No, you're not alone." They're all writing non-fiction as well. So, she felt really good about it. So, thing is that the network helps you get a lot more feedback from your readers, and I mean, sometimes it's like you say, "Oh, I'm writing for myself," and to people like that, I say, if you're writing for yourself, use a notebook, right? Sorry if it sounds rude, but if you're going to put it out there, then you might as well really put it out there. Is what I'm saying. I
Hmm.
mean,
Hmm.
if you want to put it out in the, on the website, on a website, or on the interweb, then you better make sure that people are reading it, because unless you're just making it to leave a legacy online. So I would say work on your networking skills. Really important to do that.
And also,
Hope
this is
that.
where I think community would really help. It would be a good
Yes.
starting point.
Yes, yes. And there are a lot of groups out there. My advice would be not to join groups where people drop links and run away.
Hmm. Yes,
There are,
yes, yes.
or the one indication is to see how many people are in that group. If you see the number is 2,465, that's not a group for you to join. All right. Make sure you join groups where there are probably less than 100 people, because where people can really are connecting, watch what's happening. Just don't go dropping your links all over the place. Personally, it turns me off when people just drop their links and don't read other links. So go to groups where people are connecting, sharing about their writing, talking about, learning things from each other. Right? So I would say, I'm sure everyone knows Blog Chatter is one of those groups, yeah, where people are learning and wanting to learn. Presently, Right Drive has taken a back seat, so we're not doing too much of that. But there was a time when we used to give feedback to each other on a regular basis and things like that. So go to groups like that.
Okay.
Don't just join groups for the sake of joining. So that's what I would say.
Okay. Next question from Rashi. So this is, I think, about the A to Z challenge.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Rashi, I'm going to be honest with you. Uh, I would say approach the A to Z as a challenge in itself, and then look at it as a basis for you to get into an ebook. Right? Focus on the challenge as a blogging challenge. Don't look at it as a means to get to the ebook, because then you'll get a little confused about what your goal is. So focus on it as a blogging challenge, and you connect with other people. Then you're already building your readership base, right? So don't look at the end result as being an ebook. And I think personally, that in my opinion, it would take away from the fun of the blogging challenge if you're writing with a purpose.
It's like what you are saying. It makes so much sense because I had this when I was blogging, like when I was doing the A to Z last year. I had written this one post, and now that post has become a huge long story. And I had no plans for it to become a story, but it just became one. So what you're saying, yes, maybe just think of it as a challenge in itself. That in itself, I think, should keep you occupied for the month of April and March.
Oh yeah. I mean, if you're doing the challenge for the first time, you better, be prepared in March itself, and you better be prepared for long nights and early mornings to keep up with the commenting and all that. So it's a lot of work. So it's trying to think of an ebook as simultaneously, it's not going to work. So I mean, you really have to, if you want to give it your all, I mean, I would say that just be prepared for to have fun also. That's really important. I
Yeah.
think I had a question that
Yeah.
popped up and I didn't answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the
Oh, bye,
question.
Kala.
Next one.
All right. Um, SEO, actually, I mean, personally, I don't find it it affects my blogging color, because I use SEO in all of my posts, but I'm not really looking first at what the keywords are and then writing a post accordingly. So I write a post and then try to look for the keywords, if that makes sense. Because
Hmm.
I mean, I'm writing what I feel I need to write at that particular on that particular day. I have plugins that I use for to make sure that it's SEO friendly. But personally, I don't look at SEO being all important unless I'm really looking to make a lot of money from my blog, and I'm not. I can tell you, I do make money enough. I mean, to make me happy, and at the same time, not. I mean, it's not. I can stop blogging tomorrow and not feel too bad about it. So I'm kind of in that happy place where I don't really want to focus too much on SEO. Then my blog is just not going to be authentic, and it would lose all purpose for me personally. So, hi, Kala. I
Okay.
hope that answers your question.
And since Richa has been trying to say hi for a long time, here is her
Hi,
question.
Richa. Okay, the best impact. Huh. For new bloggers, Richa, I would say, and I'm sure you would second me, is the learning to be disciplined and consistent, learning how to interact with other bloggers. I mean, that's really important, because sometimes we become quite selfish about our commenting.
Yes.
So we
Hmm.
comment, hope, just for the sake of commenting. So learning how to comment also is a very important aspect, which you can practice during the A to
Yeah.
Z. Now, what happens is that you have 240 blogs you want to visit during the A to Z, and you start just writing, inane comments. Makes no sense. So I would say, like, have a small group of committed readers and people you are committed to reading, and then focus on things like making meaningful comments, and even asking for feedback from them as to your writing, or what how you could improve. So community, Richa, don't you say? That's how we met, right?
And look at that. We are already 25 minutes into the conversation.
Yeah.
So
All
let's do
right. I should do
something
this more
fun
often.
now.
Actually, I was so nervous. I didn't. Okay.
So
Now
let's
for
do
that
something
rapid
fun
fire.
now. Yes, now for the rapid fire round. So
Okay.
I'm going to ask you maybe two, three questions, and you just respond with whatever is the first thing that comes into your head.
All right. Be
So, the one thing about bloggers that you hate.
interesting. So one thing about bloggers that I hate, right? Bloggers
Yes.
that I hate, or their behavior.
Let's not name names.
I'm not going to say. I don't really hate anyone, but the bloggers think that I would, yeah, the same thing I was talking about, this aspect of being selfish, in terms of
Hmm.
you just reading somebody's post because you want them to come visit yours. That's one.
Visit.
And the second thing is people who take ideas and make them their own without giving credit. I mean, I think we all have had our ideas taken from us. They may not be our absolutely original ideas, but something that we worked
Hmm.
on, and then you have somebody else come and run away with it. So that I think is really selfish. So selfishness, I would say, is something that I hate. The other list I'll talk to you about later.
Okay, one genre book that you love to read.
um, okay, am I going to shock everyone and say romance?
No.
Okay, not you, huh? Okay, I love reading romance novels, and I read lots of books. So, Rich, I will tell you that I'm a very avid reader, but I also read a lot of self-development books. But when I want to relax, it's mostly romance, or all types, historical romance, whatever. So,
Hmm. So, which is your favorite book? Which is your favorite romance novel?
okay, that's the one. That's something I'm going to shock you with, and by calling it a romance novel. But I would say it would be Pride and Prejudice. So,
Uh, you made me so happy.
really, okay, we'll talk about
I
this
love
another
that
time.
novel.
Yeah, I've read it about
Yes, because then we will
15
just,
times.
I could just, yeah, we can, that is one topic we can run with. Okay, there
Okay,
was this
not to talk
one.
about Colin Firth, huh?
No, see, I don't like any of the actors who portrayed Darcy. So again,
Okay,
let's
okay,
just. There was a very nice comment, so I thought I will show that to
yeah,
you.
sure. Oh, thanks, Vasanta. Thank you. I'm really floored, so I'm not saying anything more. One of the nicest bloggers I know, not just because she says that, but generally, yes, being supportive.
Okay, so this is a very nice question. So one last question quickly we'll take.
Can't hear you, but I'm looking at the question.
Okay, I'm just saying one last quick
Yeah.
question because it looks really good.
Hi, Taram. I've read your posts often enough, so I would say that keep to what you're doing. You do best. You write well. You write consistently, and like I said, make sure that you're connected with a good community, people who support you and inspire you. So that's what I would say to you.
Excellent. Okay, so there was one more nice thing somebody is saying.
Hi, Surbi. I'm. I don't know how to respond. So I just say hi and thanks.
It's always nice to hear such nice things.
Yes. I hope we can save this and read it for later.
You can watch this on Facebook later and you can see all the comments there.
Yeah.
Okay, and with that, we have reached our 30-minute mark. Thank you so much,
Wow.
Corinne, for joining us.
Thank you. I absolutely enjoyed it. I didn't realize it went so fast. Thanks a lot.
I know
Thanks, Richa.
you, the pleasure is all ours. And
Thanks,
before
Richa.
we sign before we sign off, just wanted to announce that we are looking for volunteers for the writing festival. If you're interested, you will find the link somewhere on our social channels. So if you're interested, just fill in the form and we will get back to you. Thank you,
All
Corinne, for
right.
joining us.
Take care. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.